Hi, welcome to Tea Leaves Programming. Today we're gaming like it's 1979, continuing our Let's Play of the classic puzzle game 3 in 3. Alright, what can we do? Foreign objects. Oh, it's another one of these. I love these. Let's do this. So, forward, verse, show next false, so they're all false right now. So how many of these do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it looks like there's 7 of them. These 3 in the same row, these 3 in the same column. Omega touches south side of OE. Paragraph touches west side of OE. OE? I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. What is this? A diphthong of some sort? There's got to be a name for it. Is it actually a letter or just a diphthong? It's a Latin ligature. A ligature of O and E. So it doesn't really seem to have a name that Wikipedia is willing to tell me about. And it's used to transliterate the runic letter Odal. Its traditional name in English is Ethel or Ethel. Ethel. Okay. Okay, so this is helpful. So we know that Ethel is in a column with at least 3 glyphs, and therefore the thing I did where I moved this to the south side was wrong. But more importantly, since this is also in the same column, that tells us that this has to be in this column of 4. We don't know where in the column of 4, but somewhere. Okay, so let's move all of those to the same column. So we know that these 4 glyphs are in the right column, although we do not know if they're in the right rows. We know this has to be in the 4th row. Nice. Okay, so we know that if this beta is in the right column, but it has to be in a row with 3 other things, we know it can't be in that row. So let's just do that for right now. West side of Ethel. These 3 in the same row. Well, if going backwards, if this touches the west side of this, then we know that the Ethel is not here. Yes, I like saying Ethel. I'm sorry. All right. Well, that was easier than I thought. I really do think the recognizing that this column, that these 3 things needed to be in the column with 4 items was key. There we go, Latin diphthong. And that is now done. Alter the numbers until only 0s and 1s remain. And we have a shortcut here to isolate incorrect integers. Well, that's got to be like most of them, right? Okay, so we can see here we have an arrow on the screen pointing left. What does that mean? Well, let's click and find out. Right, it selected 3 of them and changed them into 0s and 1s. And now the arrow is pointing up. Okay. And now it's pointing down. Is this really as simple as just clicking a lot? I mean, it feels like maybe it is. Oh, but I bet if I select things that are already 0s and 1s, let's try it. It's going to change it to a non-zero and 1. So probably there's got to be some sort of working out from the center of this to sort of massage the numbers out towards the edges. That's my guess. Because if you start on the edges, then you'll inevitably have to, like here, we've got this 3 here, and so that 3, to change it, I'm going to have to change, you know, some of the numbers around it. So we'll just keep massaging. Let's see how much clicking this takes. Is this puzzle interesting? I mean, it's not terrible. There is this trick that you kind of have to recognize. It's not fantastic. And am I doing it right? I don't know. I mean, this seems right? We're starting to kind of massage this out. Like here, if I were to do this, I would be creating another number further deeper in, which would make it worse, I think. So there's kind of this rhythm where your things... You should get to a place, I think, where you're eventually making your changes near the edge you're pointing to, right? If you're kind of moving things out. And then once you're on the edge, you can absolutely just isolate a single number, which is rather nice. So like here, I've got these 2. So I could, you know what, let's do this. Let's take those 3 and then these 3. And then we're just eliminating. There's no massaging going on in those cases. And it's cases like this where it gets a little tricky. Am I thinking about this wrong? I don't think I am. So it's really... Now, I've been working solely on this left side, but of course, what do you do when you get to these kind of like, there's only one thing and it's in the middle? I think the answer is probably start working on the other side and then come back here when the arrow is pointing in the direction that you want it. Yeah, that seems to work. Let's keep going in the middle here. All right, I think I just isolated. Yeah, so everything on the left is now done, but I've been ignoring the right. All right, well, we can continue doing this. Maybe I will fast forward through this because watching me click 6,000 times doesn't seem that interesting. So I'm going to make a cut here. Like I said, I don't think it's possible to not figure this one out. I almost hate calling it figuring things out. And the only tricky bit is right now when you're at the very end, right? Like anything you do is going to make the situation worse. I think if you use the corners, you can basically be guaranteed 1, 2, you can flip it there and then back. Flip it there. And then just use the corners, right? Good. Binary numbers. Uh-oh. How'd I get here? CL, character recognition. Interpret the clues and enter the correct words. All right, is there anything around here that I can click on? Since he seems to like that. Don't see anything. CL, DL, maybe deal, and maybe CL is seal. IL, jail, VL, YL. So I'm just pronouncing the words out loud and whatever it sounds like. I like that one. Uh-oh. Lovely animation in this. I think this was done, if not literally with Shockwave Flash, with some kit that is very similar to it. Those of you who are not of a certain age may not even know what Shockwave is. It might have been Macromedia Director, and I just clicked and ruined it. This bunch is neither here nor there. Well, the only word I can think of that we could spell with these letters besides there would be 3. Now, 3 is correct, then 3 of these 5 letters are in their correct place. So that's correct. That's correct. That one's not correct. No. No. What is it about these puzzles? Like, this puzzle should be good. There is a way to do this kind of letter manipulation puzzle that is good, and this ain't it. So what's wrong with it? I think what's wrong with this puzzle is that there is no tangible connection between the gesture I'm doing and the result. I want there to be... It's okay if the movements are obscured, or if there's a pattern that's hard to figure out, like, that's okay. But there is no pattern. The pattern is, here are a bunch of arbitrary rules, and each time you... I mean, I have no idea what I did to solve this. There is, to me, zero satisfaction in solving these puzzles. This one, this type of puzzle, might be my least favorite thing in this game. It was quick. I got through it quickly. I don't know how. I don't know. I feel ungrateful. Like, I love this game, so I feel really bad when I get to the puzzles that just kind of frustrate me. Yeah. Ongoing joke that people think the 3 is a backwards E or a broken B. And here's the tagline to the game. You are wrong. This cannot be. There is no number 3 in 3. The poor bee. Move the P's to the bottom and the Q's to the top. Leave a space in the middle. The P's only move downward. The Q's only move upward. The puzzle will reset if no moves can be made. I want to say that this is a classic puzzle that I think I've usually seen it done with chess pieces of like black and white, and you want to swap them. So what happens? Can we move the ones that are blocked in? We can. He'll hop over, and I can't manually reset this. No, I can. Look at that. What happens if I do back here? No, he can't. And can this dude move one? He can. All right, so a piece can hop over at most one other piece. So if I were to move this P here, then there would be two P's here and this Q would be blocked. I can then move this Q up, but basically if I move this P, I'm on the way towards having no valid moves. If I move this Q, that one's okay. No, did I just block in the P in the exact same way? I think I did. The P can move down, the Q can move up, the P can move up. Right? I think we're gonna... Yeah, there was no valid moves there. So we got to a state where there were no valid moves very quickly. Didn't we? So moving the second piece should almost immediately get us to no valid moves, right? The only thing I can do then is move these P's, and then there's nothing. And that's also true here. So the only valid move is to move either a P or a Q. The puzzles look symmetrical, so it shouldn't matter which one we start with, I don't think. So let's move a Q. All right. If we move a Q now, then we're in the death state. Okay. So the second move has to be moving a P, or moving the other from whichever you started at. So the name of the game here seems to be never having two of the same letter next to each other than in their starting positions. Because if you get two of the same letter next to each other, then you're blocking all forward progress from then on. So I did a Q and I did a P. Is either one of these okay? If we move P there, then Q there. I'm going to try moving that. No, because if I move the Q, then my next move has to be to move a P, which will have two P's in a row, or to move a Q, which would have two Q's in a row. So we have to... Okay, so another way to think of this, I think, is that this space is the resource, right? This is almost like a one-dimensional 15 puzzle. So if we move this P, now we've got this space. Our last move was a P, so we're going to move this Q. If we move this P, we've got two together. That's bad. So now we're going to move this Q. Now the space is over here. If we move this P, then the space moves here, and our next move would have, again, we'd have two together. So I think that Q goes there. Moving Q would put two Qs together, so the P goes here. And we're kind of stretching things out and interleaving these dudes. And at this point, that would put two together, so this has to be able to move. Same here. And now I think we start to collapse these. So there, there. I'm just following this move of never having two P's or two Q's together. And now we have one Q in the correct place and one P in the correct place. Right? And then we're going to go kind of all the way over to the other side. Now we can have two Q's together here. That's fine. Nice. That was fun. As much as I was complaining about the previous puzzle, I like this one. Glutton for punishment. Dirt in system. Call open vent error. Route yellow. That's kind of weird. Let's see what the clue is. Enter the correct word from the clue overheard. And they're using the extra cool 2001 font typeface to do some heavy lifting here to make it look all futuristic. What's that typeface called? I'm going to look it up. All right, there are a number of typefaces in this family. They're generally called Magnetic Ink Character Recognition, MICR. One of the fonts that was invented for this is E13B, which only has the 10 digits and then some control characters. There's a font called Westminster, which is a weird name for this type of font. Let's be honest. And then, what's the other one? CMC7. That one's very different. All right. Dirt in system, call open vent error route yellow. That is not, that's like furious, colorless green ideas sleep furiously. So I don't think we're meant to interpret this. I think, and I can see the pattern, we take the first letter of each word. Now here, first letter of each word would be Durtepon. So probably some other pattern. The last letter of each word is awareness. Call for same team circuit 11 adjusting alternate inventory. Okay. The first letter of these words would be Kurfürsterkari, and the last letter of each of these words would be Luramtung. Clear as mud. So there's got to be something else. Is it the case that these... No, I was going to say if these letters are getting larger, or if the number of letters in each word is increasing, but that's not the case. Can I type a number? I can. I don't think that this is the answer. I just want to try it. No, I didn't think so. Call for same team. What if... I'm stuck on the fact that these words, they're not getting like monotonically longer, but the words at the beginning of the sentence are pretty short, and the words at the end of the sentence are pretty long. So what if the first letter we take the first letter of the first word. For the second letter, we take the second letter of the second word. Third letter of the third word, and already I'm feeling pretty good about this. Fourth, fifth, sixth. That's got to be community, right? That was it. Oh, I passed a cognitive test. Ooh, what a burn. So what does the neural network of a 3 look like? Okay, and we're at a dead end. So we got to pick a new one. Open all the security doors. This task can be done in 9 unique moves. I guess it's time to do this one. All right, let's take some notes. And then if I do that twice more, all of those should close, right? This task can be done in 9 unique moves. If they're unique moves, that means I should be able to do this by only clicking once on each, right? That's what unique means. So that implies I'm going to reduce my search space here. I don't need to know which doors are changed on closing, right? If they're unique moves, then if I'm closing doors, well, if I'm clicking something a second time to close it, I'm messing up. So the only thing I'm going to use the close for is to get back to the start. 3, 1, 3, 5. 4, 4, 7, 8. 5 is 5, 7, 8. So there are some overlapping things here. And so anything that overlaps, the corollary there is that any move which overlaps doors, we need to make sure that that door is manipulated at least 3 times, an odd number, because they're starting closed, they need to finish open. 6, 2, 4. And interestingly, so 6 opens 6, 2, and 4. And that's also true of 2. So those two are kind of paired and cancel out, right? Okay, we need 7 now, right? 7. 7, 1, and 3. 8, 5, and 6. I'm like hypersensitized now to looking if there's any other like complete overlaps like that. 9, 2, and 3. All right. Tempted to write a program to search for the answer here. Let me get rid of some of my notes here. So 1 and 2 don't overlap at all. I'm wrong, they do. Because my notes were wrong. Can I reset? I can. So are there any of these that don't overlap? Do they all overlap? So as I look at this, I see 4 moves that manipulate the 6 door, right? 1, 2, 6, and 8. I'm going to do it right now just as a test. 1, 2, 6, and 8, which leaves 6 closed. So how is it possible that this can be done? Maybe I'm misunderstanding what 9 unique moves means. Maybe it doesn't mean, maybe I do need to know what these things manipulate on close. Yes, I'm totally dumb, because it can be 9 unique moves, but if my second move, for example, needs to be 6, then I do in fact need to know what 6 does whenever it closes the door. I'm going to go and catalog those now, and I'm not going to do it on screen because I should have done it the first time. We'll cut here. That feels... That 6 has got to be relevant. How can I open that 6? If I close 4, that 6 will open. 8, 5, 6. And that would leave these 3. 5, 7, 8. I'm sad, but it's my fault. I was blaming the game on the earlier puzzle. This is me. I feel like there's a mathematical solution here where I come up with some equation before doing a single click and know where I'm going, and I did not find it. But that's on me. I feel like the space here is small enough that I should have found it. Oh, one interesting, I don't want to call it a drawback, but one aspect of this game is having solved this puzzle, I can't solve it again unless I start a brand new game. That seems like a bit of a drawback. All right, we have to pick another scene. Okay, I do in fact have a spreadsheet now. So I'm hypothesizing that we go from 1 to 9 and then back to 1. There's no letters worth 0. And the closest I can get to 9 here is U, which I'm guessing is worth 3, which would put me at 8. So let's see if that gets me 8. It did. So this is kind of letter baccarat, is what we're looking at. How many letters do we need to first player to reach 99 points? Okay. So we've got K, N, and F. Start low. My spreadsheet works, by the way. V is 4 and B is 2. Let's take 2. So now I want 5 or less. T is 2. M should be 4 and D should be 4. All right. I think we're going to do it. I really do. Imagine Baccarat where you could pick your cards. That would be a game that would be hard to lose at. 1, 9, and 7. None of these are good. Oh, it was a tie. L is 3, so that would get me to 6. That's my best play. Not good enough. So choosing a letter like Z that's worth 8 points would be probably not the best move. Take W. Q is worth 8, so maybe that wraps us around. P is 7, and U is worth 3. Let's take one of these 8. Let's take the 8-point letter, and let's figure out the wraparound. I think we'll end up at 4. We did. That's really good. S is worth 1, J is worth 1, R is worth 9. None of these are great. So even having figured it out, I'm still doing pretty poorly, honestly. All right, I'm still in the running here. Most of these will get me back to 0, I think. Well, they get me back to 1. Okay. 4, 6 would get me to 7. Does it really matter what I pick in those first 2 rounds because I don't know what letters are going to appear? So really, is it the case that the only thing that really matters is my last pick? It's certainly the most significant one. I'm going to try playing that way for a little while. Let's see what happens. Maybe it's not the best. T is 2, so that should get me to 9. F is 6, would get me to 7. Z is 8, would get me to 9. Can I just pick the first? That pattern can't hold. I'm just going to pick the first 2 letters for the first 2 rounds. And now if K is worth 2, oh my god. It's like an implicit cheat code. It's probably just luck, right? L is 3, Z is 8. That gets me to 9. So I need a letter worth 4. My spreadsheet says V is worth 4. Ugh, wow. If this is not luck, it certainly is a hell of a pattern. I think it's got to be intentional. So, are any of these letters worth 1? J. One more move. Wow, I wish I'd figured that out earlier. I need something worth 3, which none of these are. Okay, so it is not a cheat code. I was just getting very, very lucky, I think. P is worth 7, H is worth 8. So that's my best move. And O is worth 6. Well, it worked well enough that I'm going to keep doing it. C would get me to 8. Yeah. Oh no! I'm hosed. They're all bad. I need something worth 6. E is worth 5. Y is worth, that's my best move. Alright. I was so excited when I thought that I'd crack the code and like found a pattern that was guaranteed to win, but I did not. It was pretty good though. It got me through it fairly quickly. And I feel like I did understand the mechanics of this one. Probably an endgame clue. Alright, let's do one mesh and then call it. I'm going to work from the inside out. I really do think that that is going to be easier than trying to work from the corners. Right? Whew. All right, so see, this actually is not going to stay there. It's clear to me that it can't possibly be done. That's going to go there. That has to be like that. Is that it? Yes. Surely that was the last mesh. Right on target. All right, I think again, let's do this from the middle out. This requires a little bit of color appreciation, I guess. This puzzle must be hell on earth if you're colorblind. I think this is really before great accessibility. So I just don't think, I think you would just not play this game. Although, it was for a Mac, and a lot of people on Mac, as I said, had black and white. So maybe if you play this in black and white mode, it's patterned. I don't know. Maybe I should change this to a Mac Classic emulator and see what I get. Is that right? I think it is. Swap that in. That one there. I need one more. There we go. And now we just gotta fill in the bits here. See, I'm doing it now. Before I was having a really hard time describing what it is, this kind of store and move, but I'm just doing it instinctively now, and I still don't know if I can put it into words. But fortunately, that was the last mesh. I feel your pain, 3. Ask me if I care. All right. Well, I still feel, even though this one looks like you should do it by the corners, I still feel like if we can get my brain to see the pattern. So a purple one right there. We've got a purple one. And one of those there. And then it's going to be a lavender one right there in the middle. And so it's this pattern all the way down, right? Maybe I do need to do it from a corner. Well, the problem is if you do it from a corner, then any other movements are going to mess up either the vertical or the horizontal. Maybe we do it line by line. No, I'm going to keep my belief. The problem here, because the mechanics of the puzzle are exactly the same as the one we just did. The only hurdle is my dumb brain. So we've done these 4 center ones, and so now we just need to go, let's see, starting on, I don't even know what to call these. Light, dark, and purple, light. Light, dark, purple, light. Right? So light, dark, purple, light. Okay, so now we have this. So going there, it's again light, dark, purple, light going that way. So purple, light. Did I just lose myself? No. There, light, dark. I lost myself. Purple, light, dark, purple, light. So I expect right there, light, dark, purple, light. Light, here I have to move this because I don't want to disturb the ones I've already done. Purple, light. No, I messed something up. Oh, I see. I forgot which side I was working on. Right, and so the hard part here is really remembering which of these I need to not touch. So right now, since I've done everything except this part, it's these. I need to make sure that whatever manipulations I do to get these, and let's count this way: light, dark, purple, light. Okay. I need to do it outside of the bounds of all of this. So, purple, light, no, I've totally messed everything up. Oh, have I? I have. This one to be purple. 2, 3. Okay. These are all correct except for this square here. So I want this square to be purple, so to be light. So I move it out of the bounds of what I've messed up, move it down, move it back. And now I believe that this 4 squares in the center, 4 squared area, is totally correct. That looks right. Okay, so let's do a 5 square area. So starting with dark purple light, right? Purple, light, dark, purple, light, dark, purple, light. See if that's right. It does seem to be. So how about going across here? Should be dark purple light also. So we want these 5 squares in the middle to not be destroyed, so we need to make our swap space over here. Dark purple light. And don't at me if you don't like me calling it, that purple. But I do call it purple. Purple light. Oh, I messed up. No, I didn't. There. Dark purple light. I did. Try it again. Feels like this shouldn't be as hard as I'm making it. What am I getting wrong? So this is the one I want to swap. Yeah, dark purple, light, dark purple, light. Whew, boy. Okay, so then this one, these 5 should be light, dark purple, light, dark purple. And if I want to keep these 5 intact, then I've got to do the switch along this edge or this edge. Let's do it up here. Starting with light. Light, dark, purple. So this one we want to switch to a light, dark, it's already dark, and then a purple. And that's correct. So now we just got to do this one. Light, dark, purple, light, dark, purple. So we'll do it on the edge. Light, dark, purple. Oh, and here we have to do it on kind of on both edges. Light, dark, purple. No, I've messed up. This is totally wrong. I got confused about what I was doing. Dang. Try this again. Oh man, I totally messed everything up. This cannot be good YouTube. This can't be interesting to watch. I apologize, but boy, I'm feeling dumb today. Is it just that one? Dark. I think that is everything that is not on the absolute edge of the mesh. I'm like clicking crazily to see if that's correct. So, starting at this corner, we want this to be light. Right. Well, let's see. Light, dark, purple. So then this has to be light. So we're going to move it over here. Move that up. And move that back. Light, dark, purple, light, dark. Purple. Yeah, I know they're all purple. Like I said, don't at me. And then this needs to be light. Good. So that's that edge. And in fact, this edge is almost, it says halfway done. Is that side? Yeah. All right, we're getting down to it. Which one looks easier? Oh, but in doing this, am I going to mess up this side? Well, let's see. This to go here, and then there, and then back again. Okay. And then same thing here. Let's just do it. Store, move, restore. then this is going to be purple, right? Yeah. Same thing. Store. All right, so now we just need a few swaps, and this is where it's going to get tricky, I think. How do we swap without ruining everything else we've done? So if we want this, so if I want this to be problem is I don't know how to get these things into their proper place without ruining everything else I've done. Well, let's just try. That goes there. That goes there. And the important thing is that I get another one of these there, and then pull it back. And that actually did it. Did I ruin anything else? No. Well, let's try it again. So we want to get a purple square here. So let's use this again. There. Get a purple square back here. Pull it back to where it was. Yeah. Okay. And so now... Wait, did I think I did mess something up? Well, I didn't... No, I only messed up the row I'm working on, the column I'm working on, so that's fine. Alright, so let's just keep going down the edge here. So we've got these three in place. We need a dark square here, right? So, do we already have one? Wait, no, here. So, put the dark square in place, move it back, and borrow this back. Okay, so now we have 4 correct. We need a light square here. Move it there, there, back. And now we should have 5. Good. Alright, this needs to be purple. There. Borrow it. Move it back. Move it back. And now we should just have 1 square out of place. I hate these so much. I actually like these. These are frustrating, but I do actually, again, I think that any problems I have with this one is on me and not on the game. All right, so let's store that there. No, this is going to break it. Move that there. Yeah, I just ruined everything. All right. Well, fortunately, that was the last mesh. I think I'm going to save this mesh for part 3. Because, boy, you got to be kidding. All right. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us here at Tea Leaves Programming for Let's Play 3 and 3. We'll see you in a few weeks. Thanks for watching.